one really knows me. Sometimes I need to get it out so that I can really be free. Cause it ain't easy when you live a life where the fans adore you. It doesn't mean that you never need to get away. There's a little place that I find whenever I need to unwind. Dealing with the pressure, living life the way I do. Where they always make it easy, I can just relax and be there. Baby, are you ready? It's a paradise for two. Let's get away to another world. Just you and me. Let's get away. Baby, I know you're stressing. I can feel it all around you. And girl, I know the struggle dealing with what they do. Cause it ain't easy when you live the life where they depend on you. I know the feeling. Let me take care of you. There's a little place that I find whenever I need to unwind. Dealing with the pressure, and I know you feel it too. Where they always make it easy, I can just relax and be there. Baby, are you ready? It's time for me and you. Let's get away to another world. Just you and me. Oh, let's get away.
Take a trip with me. Tell me where you want to go. Just point on the globe and then let me know. I can take you anywhere in the whole wide world. On the Eiffel Towers where our love occurs. Is it Belize, Greece, or maybe the islands? Take a deep, long breath and just close your eyelids. Relax and take a seat and just let your mind slip to a place you want to go. All love, no violence. France, Egypt, maybe Japan. No matter where we go, I want to hold your hand. We can hit the beach and put our toes in the sand. Maybe go to San Fran and you're an indie band. Where you going, little mama? I want to take you on a trip. I can be your only genie. You can use one wish. Then we try all the places that you wanted to exist and go around the world on a plane or a ship. And trust me, I know it's like a dream come true, but it's nothing compared to what I would do for you. Just one night, just to show you the world and give you my all, cause I found my dream girl. Adventure is a word that was made for two, and the way I see it, it's just me and you. Cause when we're together, there's nothing we can't do. JK and Jeopardy, now what you gonna do? Like,
Let's get away to another world. Just you and me. Let's get away. Let's get away to another world. Just you and me. Baby, let's get away.
What is up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining me today. My name is Jonathan. I am the host, and today is The Right Way. We're going to talk about your target audience and building your target audience and how to build that higher and higher, how to find the right people for your target audience, all of that jazz. We've got a nice big presentation for you. Now, this one's not going to be too long. I'm trying to keep it under an hour, but we got a lot of material to cover today. So you might want to grab a piece of paper. You might want to open up a note on your cell phone or your computer, wherever you're watching, because we've got a lot of material to cover today. Some good stuff, some pros and cons. How to find your target audience is really, really, really important. So we're going to go over some details, and thank you guys so much for joining us today. First thing is first, I want to make sure that everybody can hear me okay. So give me a thumbs up, text me in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me all right. Go ahead and if you haven't already, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button wherever you are watching this. On YouTube, Instagram, we got a TikTok. Those are the main three. Facebook also. And the links are at the bottom of the page. If you want to support, give tips to the podcast, we really appreciate it. It allows us to continue to give you this information, look up things that we need to look up, research those things, and give them to you so that you can find success as an author, as an indie author, and we're not depending on publishers and things like that. Let me adjust this light really quick. Starting to fall. I want to make sure. There we go. Want to make sure you guys can see me all right. Okay, so finding your target audience. Now, you guys know that this is the make or break of your writing career. Really, really important stuff. As an indie author or even a traditionally published author, you need to know how to find your readers. That is your target audience. We'll talk about the actual definition of a target audience a little bit later. But this isn't common knowledge because there's no specific right way to do it. What we're giving you today are some things that have proven to be successful, but this by no means is the only thing that has proven to be successful. So there's no specific right way to go about doing this. There are a lot of wrong ways to go about doing this, and unfortunately, people who don't know what they're doing are going to find the wrong ways before they find the right ways. So this particular podcast episode is designed to give you a few of the things that we have found to be proven successful, especially in the beginning of your writing career. So we're giving these things to you so that you don't make a lot of the mistakes that amateur and new writers make, so that you can be successful. You know, like there's not a lot of information out there that will encourage you without overwhelming you. So, we want to talk about some of the preliminary steps to finding and building your target audience. All right. Now, if you don't understand how to go about this process of finding and building your target audience, all of your writing efforts will have been wasted. So, the hours that you've spent editing, writing, getting a cover designer, getting your website together, maybe you've planned an event, all of that, it will go for nothing if you don't find a way to collect up your target audience. Okay, you'd be basically depending on luck or faith or hope, and it's not really a good thing to depend on. You know, it's like buying a lottery ticket and hoping that yours is the winning one, but putting all of your eggs in that basket, just buying more and more lottery tickets instead of investing in yourself. So it is pretty important to understand this process. Now, what exactly is a target audience? Sorry. A target audience is a group of people, a specific group of consumers most likely to want your product or service. Translated into the writing world, this is the group of people who are most likely to read your book. Now, in the beginning, you're going to have to do more to find these people, especially if you're brand new or unknown. And the good thing about that is you have social media to lean on. It has definitely given authors a leg up on the marketing front, on the promotion front. But if you do the wrong thing, you can find yourself frustrated and giving up really quickly, which is what 90% of authors do. They hear the words marketing, promotion, they hear that you need it, but they don't necessarily know how to go about doing it. And so they start spamming and things like that. And that gets them in trouble. They wind up with no readers, awful reviews, and they give up. So, in the beginning, as I said, you must target a lot of people over a period of time, not just for 1 week or 1 month. It's best if excuse me. Excuse me. Oh. Man, I apologize for that. It's best if you target as soon as you publish or before you publish within the first 30 days after you publish. I'm sorry, the first 90 days after you publish. That's when you're going to have the most fire for your target audience because readers like new books. They don't necessarily want to read a book that was published 10 years ago. New books will always do better than older books when it comes to promotion because, you've heard the phrases new is always better, things like that. It sounds cliche, but it's true. So that is when it comes to the publishing front, that is where you're going to cash in the most. That's the period where you're going to cash in the most. That first year is great. And then those first 90 days is like the hot spot, right? All right. So, some of the wrong things to do here. All right. Number one, you don't want to just spam social media with your publication. Okay. This will do more to upset people than it will get them interested in your book. This happens on social media more often than not. Authors will join these promotion groups that says authors promotions, and they just start throwing in, I got a book out, I got a book out, I got a book out. All right. Number one, that group that's called authors promotions is not a good group for somebody looking for readers, because who's going to join that group? Authors who just want to spam, or authors who want to promote their books. There's no readers in that group, so why are you promoting in that group? You need to find groups with readers in them. And if you find groups with readers in them and you just start spamming, I got a book out, nobody's going to buy it. You have to get them to care about your book. You have to get them to care about your book. Get them interested. Why should they read your book? Because readers have time. Time is valuable. We all know this. So why should a reader spend their time reading your book? What will it do for them? If you can't answer that question, expect to not have any sales. Expect to not have any reviews. Okay? And we'll talk about that more here a little bit later. Telling nobody about your book, about your project, about your short story. If you tell nobody about it, listen, you could have the next bestseller on the market. You could have the next Harry Potter. Just once you publish, that could be the next Harry Potter. It's just as good or better as one of the biggest book franchises of really this century. Really, honestly. Game of Thrones is another one. You could have the next Game of Thrones. If nobody knows about it, it won't matter. You're not going to make it. So you can't tell nobody about it, or just your little family about it, and expect Amazon to do all the work and expect your publisher or your agent to do all the work. That's not how it works. It doesn't work like that. Okay, this is a marathon. I'm going to give you an analogy here later on in this presentation. This is a marathon. Okay, don't expect just because you publish you're going to make $1 million in those first 3 months. That is not how this works. All right. Don't expect everything to change in life just because you publish a book. This is especially important for first-time novelists, okay? This is a process. As I said before, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. All right? So there's a specific process for your first book, your second book, your third book, and what to expect at each level. Okay? So don't expect this first book to change your life overnight. This is where people like to just start spamming. You kind of get into desperation mode, right? Because you're $5,000 in the hole from what you're investing in this book, a few $1,000s in the hole, and you're like, well, on this first book I have to break even. You're probably not going to with the first book. That's just the nature of the beast. If you're not willing to go in for the long haul, don't expect find another hobby, seriously. Because you're going to invest more than you're going to make on this first book. That's just how it goes. All right. So don't overspend in the hopes to change your life. That's really not the purpose for publishing anyway. I have another podcast on what's the responsibility of the author. You can go and watch that on YouTube. I post all of these on YouTube for replays. The purpose of an author is to entertain and move the reader. It's not to make sales or change your life. We'll go over how you can gauge your success as an author in this podcast. But if you're going in with the hopes of making millions of dollars, I get this when people call me and they say they have a bestseller, you've got the wrong idea. I never work with those people, especially if they're brand new, because they've never sold anything. They've never had a bestseller. They've never written anything. So how do they know it's a bestseller? The market determines what's a bestseller and what's not. It's not you as the reader, as the author. The market determines it. The readers determine that. Just a little tip there. And unfortunately, to you introverts out there, because I know this field attracts a lot of introverts. If you want to be a successful author, you got to break out of that. Sorry. You cannot be an introvert, especially as an indie author. You cannot be an introvert when you're doing marketing and promotion. You can't. When you're starting out, networking is going to be your best friend. You got to make connections. You need to find and establish connections. That's the only way you're going to be successful. Especially if you don't have Facebook marketing skill or copywriting skill to kind of generate interest with words, like with short words, a paragraph. If you can't generate interest in a paragraph, like if you've written a blurb and nobody's buying your book, the copywriting isn't there yet. Okay? So especially if you don't have those skills, networking is going to be your best friend. All right. That means you have to get out there. You got to meet people. You got to talk to people. You got to ask for interviews. You have to seek out people who help authors. There's a lot of blogs and stuff out there that do author interviews. A lot of them do it for free. They're trying to help. This is where your exposure actually pays off. But you can't be a hermit. You can't be in your house. Sorry, this is not your field if you want to do that, especially if you're going to self-publish. You need to get out there. Ask for interviews, call people on the phone, text them, be willing to talk to people. Okay? And this is great practice for you too, because once you reach a certain point where you can do this for a living, your skills and your experience are going to be pivotal in how many opportunities you have and how many opportunities you capitalize on. If you don't have social skills, get them. Get them. You can talk to people. It's free. There's billions of people on this planet. You can talk to people. Practice talking to people in the supermarket. If you don't have, if you're socially awkward, practice talking to family members. Practice talking to people in the supermarket. You don't have to have whole conversations with them. You don't have to talk about their history or their backstory. Just practice saying, hey, how's it going? In the supermarket, hey, I like your necklace. And then that's it. They say thank you. Keep going. It doesn't have to be that serious. Okay, these social skills are going to be really, really important for you as you move forward. Okay? Especially if you're an indie author. 100% if you're an indie author. All right? Now, I touched on exactly how to gauge your success as an author. Okay? Now, this is a key part of information that you really don't find a lot of places. You hear about authors getting sales and making money and all of that stuff. But that's not necessarily how you gauge an author's success. It's not. An author is as successful as they have readers, not sales. Just like any other medium for media. Movies, it's not about the money, it's about the viewers. If you have enough viewers and you move them enough, that's going to make you the money. If you've got people talking about your book and sharing it with other people and telling people, you have to read this, that is going to give you more money than any Facebook ad ever will. Word of mouth is still the number one seller in today's market. And I really don't think that will change. Social media is great, and it's just kind of it's kind of boosted word of mouth because a share is word of mouth. Right? When they share it with their network, especially if they share and say, you guys got to check this out and share it. Anybody who loves books, you have to read this right now. Stop what you're doing. Click on this. Just read the blurb. Just read the blurb. If you don't want it after the blurb, fine. That kind of a share from one of your friends, that is gold. That will, at the very least, get any reader that is connected with your friend to go, let me check this out. They say, I gotta read it, and I know this person, and I trust them. Let me check it out. That is gold. That will do more than any Facebook ad ever will. Because Facebook ads, people see Facebook ads every hour. Every 10 minutes, really. They're scrolling. Here's an ad. They scroll right past it because they know it's an ad. They know somebody's going to try and sell them something. But when their friends, when the people they're connected to start speaking their language, like if they're a reader and they love reading, and somebody says, if you're a reader, you have to check this out. I just got this from this blank author. I know them. I love them. I didn't really think too much of it until I started checking it out. You guys have to read this. That will do so much more for you than any ad will. People are ignoring ads. They read stuff from their friends. So think about that. An author is as successful as they have readers, not sales. Focus on the reader, not the sale. What's going to get the reader interested? What's going to get the reader sharing? What's going to make the reader move mountains for you? What's going to get the reader to join your mailing list? Right? If you start doing those things, you're going to have so many readers and you'll make more money than you ever expected to. So focus on the reader, not the sale. Okay? If you get people interested in wanting to read your book, you've done your job as the author. And a lot of times this means like people will have had to have met you personally and like you. Because again, word of mouth will do more for you than a Facebook ad in this field. All right, which means that people have to like you and support you. Okay? People trust people more than they trust businesses. This is why they ignore ads. We're used here in America and in the West, we're used to being sold things. In between your TV programming, there's ads. I like sports. I'm a 49ers fan. I'm a Warriors fan. Every commercial break, there is 5, 6, 7 ads trying to tell me that I need to get something. Half of them don't even apply to me. That's when I go and use the bathroom or grab a cup of coffee or whatever, grab a snack. I just ignore it. And you probably ignore it too. You drive down the street, every billboard, that's an ad. Every sign on the side of the street, that's an ad. Like you're used to just being bombarded with ads, your emails, your text messages. People are calling your phone, talking about your extended warranty. Those are all ads. You just ignore them, hang up on them, ignore the email, dump it in spam. Like you're used to just ignoring people trying to sell you stuff. That's what people think business is. But if your friend comes up to you and says, hey, have you ever tried this? I tried this. I do this on stage, like I'm a professional singer. I've had people sell me stuff because they use it on stage and it works for them, and I'll try it. They'll give me like a little sample and I'll try it and it works and I'll buy it. Why? Because it relates to me and what I like to do, and somebody that I trust who understands that recommended something. That is, people trust people more than they trust businesses. Okay. Now, even though this is a business, writing and publishing books is a business, and it must be treated as a business. You can and you should be as personable as possible. When it comes to marketing and promotion, that is going to do more for you than ads will. Don't depend on ads to get you your money. Okay? What I would use an ad for is after you start getting those reviews, I would advertise the reviews for the book, not the sales. Not check out this. I've made $1 million on this book. It would be, look at what readers are saying about this. It's been bestseller in 2 categories for 6 weeks in a row, or it's been climbing the ranks steadily for 4 weeks in a row. This is what the reviews are saying. Because anybody who's interested in reading, who might not know you, but like your genre, like books, like Kindle, whatever, Facebook, Google, Amazon, they gather information all the time on people. That is why they're so successful and why they have so many freaking ads on their platforms, because they're the ones that have all the information on people. You start filling out stuff, they know your age, the car that you drive, or at least the type of car that you drive. If you have kids, they know what kind of computer you have, what kind of cell phone you have, what you click on, what you show an interest in. If you activate your microphone, it seems like they're listening in on your conversations. They recommend Chipotle. When you say, I'm hungry, I think I want some Chipotle. Boom, suddenly you see an ad, which I'm okay with, by the way. Please sell me stuff. Make my life easier. I'm okay with being sold stuff that's going to help me. But you get what I'm saying. Like Google, Facebook, this is number one and number two in information gathering. The more information they know about you, the more things they recommend to you to help you with your life, to make it more convenient, more clean, more personable, more easier for you. So use these platforms to reach out to the people that you need to, but don't try and spam them and just say, buy this. You have to get their interest. Why should they buy this is the question you need to ask. Okay? All right. So remember, an author is as successful as they have readers. And I'm going to check on the chats here. See if I don't have any questions here. Do I have any questions? Anybody have any questions before I move on? All right, doesn't look like it. All right, good. Okay, just let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will try and answer your questions as we go. Okay, so now let's talk about how to find your target audience. Now remember, an author is as successful as they have readers. Okay, and we talked about some of the things not to do. So let's talk about some of the things to do that have proven to be successful in the past and today. All right. While you're writing, start talking about your book. Again, introverts, I'm sorry. You can't be an introvert here. Not in the beginning. Sorry. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. You can't be an introvert. Get out there. Start talking to people. You have to find the people who are interested in what you're doing. Go within your circle first with people that you're used to talking to. Talk to them. Like, you don't have to go out and talk to a million strangers. Talk to the people in your group. Now don't expect your closest friends to support you in everything that you're doing here, okay? And don't get upset with them if they don't support you or don't support you in the way that you would like them to. Some people are marathon people. And some people are finish line people when it comes to supporting you. You need both. You need both in your life. Now, what do I mean when I say that? If anybody's ever run a marathon before, I haven't. I have no desire to run for that long. If I'm going to run, there needs to be a goal. Like I have to have a basketball or a net, something at the end. There needs to be a purpose. I've never run a 5K. But when you're running a marathon, there's little checkpoints of water because they don't want you to die while you're supporting their cause on these marathons. So at these little checkpoints, they're giving you water, they're giving you nutrients to inspire you to keep going. These are the journey people. I call these journey people because they know what you're trying to do and they're there to help you, give you, the smack on the ass to keep you going, give you the water to refresh you, keep you going. When you're writing, you are running a marathon. There's going to be little points along the journey where you're going to want to give up. There's going to be little points where you don't know if you can keep going. You need your marathon people to hand you that water, give you a pat on the back, say, go ahead, keep going. Nope, come on, get up, keep going. Get up, writer's block, fine. Tell me, what do you need? A mentor is good for this. A developmental editor is good for this while you're writing because they're going to give you those key things that you need to inspire you and keep you inspired and knock off the writer's block to keep you going. Okay, these are your marathon people. And then you have the group of people normally the marathon, like the journey people, it's not a lot of people. It's like a couple of people working a stand, handing you water and going. But at the finish line, you have like your posse, right? Like these are the people you said you were running a 5K. They made signs. They're standing at the end, right? You don't want, and as soon as they see you coming around the corner, there they go. Yeah, come on, let's go. You need those people. Those people at the end inspire you to finish at the end. You want to finish, you want to go into their arms and celebrate the victory, right? You don't want those finish line people on the journey. Why? Because those people at the end typically don't want to see you going through hardship. But these hardships get you to the end. So you need people who are along the journey who want you to go through the hardship because they're going to be the ones that help you get up and get through the hardship. Versus the finish line people, they don't want to see you in pain. So when you start going through those little hardships, they go, "Oh, honey, maybe you should stop. Hey, man, maybe this isn't working out for you. Like, go a different direction." That needs to not be an option in your mind when you're writing a book. You need to keep the finish line people at the finish line. So don't get upset with friends who tell you, they don't support you the way you want to. They tell you, yeah, like when you get the book at the end, let me know. Versus the friends that are like, yeah, I read all the time. Like, what are you writing right now? Let me take a look at it. Like, you have to know the difference between your marathon people and your finish line people. The ones who are going to give you water, the ones who are going to ask to be there along the journey, and the ones who are waiting at the finish line to celebrate the loudest when you're done. You need both. Both are pivotal. Both are great support. The finish line people are going to be talking to the people there and telling people about your journey. The journey people are the ones that help you get to the finish line people. But if you start mixing the group up, if you got somebody who should be on the marathon and you got them at the finish line, you might never make it to the finish line. Because that pivotal person needs to be there in the beginning to tell you, hey, get up, come on, you can do this. Here's your water, take a drink. Here's your Gatorade drops, or they got crazy stuff now. Here's your boost. Come on, get up, we can do this. You got this. You need both. So just because somebody doesn't support you the way that you want them to in the beginning doesn't mean they're not a good support system. They might be the word of mouth that gets you those sales at the end, but you need to know the difference. Okay? The finish line people might not be readers. Yeah, I don't really read a lot, but I love you. I want to support you. Perfect. Finish line. Yeah, I'm a reader. What genre do you write? Oh, cool. I love that genre. Can I read a chapter now? Marathon. Does that make sense? You get the difference? All right. And I'm not seeing any questions, so that is good. So you need both, but you need to understand the difference. Okay? Both are great support systems, and there are going to be some people who don't support you. Maybe they tried to write a book and they failed, so they think nobody else can do it. There are those people out there. Do not let those guys stop you. Right? This is why talking to people is important. Don't just tell them I'm selling a book. Hey, I'm writing a book. What do you think? Oh, I tried to write a book once and there's not really any money in it. I have videos on YouTube right now telling you how much money the publishing industry made in 2022. It's 2023 now. In 2022, book selling, just books, made $26 billion with a B. I think it was $26.2 billion. There's money in writing. So if you want to know the actual statistics, go look at the YouTube. I think it's called How to Make More Money in 2023 by Writing a Book, something like that. It gives you all the statistics, how much money it made in 2020, 2021, 2022. These are it's a $1 billion industry. There's money. Okay. So if somebody ever tells you there's no money in writing, do not talk to them about the book. Don't waste your time. I get that they're your best friend. I get that they're your mother. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Just keep trucking along. Keep the marathon people, keep your finish line people, and get the fat off. Because and I don't want to go too far into this, more than I've already gone. But the reason I'm telling you to get them off is because eventually they will stop you from writing your book. I see it all the time. In the now 9 years, it was 9 years officially 2 days ago, that I've been running this company. I see it all the time. Yeah, I live with a spouse. She doesn't support my writing, but I want you to do it. I never work with them, especially if they're a spouse. But if you got a mom or a best friend or somebody you respect, it's always somebody you respect, and they don't support writing, get them off your writing lines. If they ask you about the book, tell them, yeah, it's going good. That's it. Don't go into details at all. They will stop you from writing your book every single time. Okay? So that's my little tangent on that. So marathon people, finish line people. All right. Now, get a website up early. Now, this is something that I actually myself I had to learn over time because I thought you waited until the end once everything was done to get the website up. Absolutely not. That's not the time to do it. I recommend that you do it after the editing process is done and once you have a cover. Once you have a cover, start building your website. Okay? And you listen, the reason is because at this point you have something that's real. This is where you kind of employ the finish line people. Like you're coming around the bend, right? You're coming around the bend. You're about to go into the group of people who are going to cheer you on into the finish. Start investing in your website and get a quality website up, you guys. Quality is the key word here. Don't just go on to Wix or Squarespace or WordPress or GoDaddy or whatever other website program there is out there and just put up a blog and say, hey, I got a website. No, you don't. You don't. You have a blog. Get a professional website. This is a business. So yes, it's going to cost you $350, $500, $1,000 to get a really good website up, but that's what you want. There's payment plans out there. There's buy now, pay later options out there. You're going to have to invest in this. Do not just throw up a blog and say you have a website. Do not just let a publisher build some generic thing for you. You have to showcase your personality and your work. People trust people more than they trust businesses. Remember that. Remember that. You are a business, but you are also an author and a mother and a father and a business owner and an accountant and a lawyer and a video gamer and a stylist and a home designer or whatever else that you have going on in your life. This is all a part of who you are. Eventually, your fans are going to want to know about you, the mastermind behind the book. Eventually. Some of them will want to know it right up front because they love the book so much. Some of them will wait a little bit and after the second or third book in, they'll be like, man, I got to know this person. I feel these characters. I relate. They're going to want to know you eventually. So start building that website. And it can be small at first. You got one book, one cover. It can be one page. Showcasing the book, got a little section about the author, got your picture there. It's good enough. The main thing, though, with these websites is you want to offer an opportunity to join your reading list. Okay? That is the point of the website. Again, this is a business. This is the business part of running your writing career. You need a website. The point of the website is not to make sales. It's to get people to join the readers list. Especially if this is the beginning for you. Again, an author is as successful as they have readers, not sales. Your readers are going to buy. You're going to get the money. Focus on the readers. Okay? Every business, every good reputable business, when you join their website, within 7 seconds, they offer you a chance to join their email list. Within 7 seconds. Because they know our attention spans are going down, 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 down. And they want to capitalize as soon as they have us. Some of them, once you veer away from the page, that's when it pops up. And they offer you something in exchange for your email. Why do you think that is? Because they know as soon as they have you on a list, it's the target audience because you popped on the website for something. If you weren't interested a little bit in what they had to offer, you wouldn't be there. So you are within the target audience for them. They offer you a chance for them to contact you exclusively and offer you stuff. That is business 101. You have to capitalize on the people when you have them on your website as soon as possible. 7 seconds, they offer you a chance. You have to do the same thing as an author. They pop up on your website. They're a reader. They're interested in something that you offer. Get their information. An email is fantastic. A cell phone number is better. Okay, so get a website up early. Okay, and don't just go for a generic thing. It's going to cost money, you guys. You're going to be spending money on this a lot, a whole lot. Just get used to it. Don't try to pinch pennies and cut corners here. It's going to do more harm than good for you. All right. Now, this is the point where you want to start thinking about your goals for each book. I don't have it in this particular presentation, but a successful campaign for an author is 1,000 books sold, 1,000 readers, really, 1,000 different readers that have read your book. That is a successful campaign. Okay, so you want to start thinking about what you want to do with your books. Like, do you want 50 readers with this first book? Do you want 150 readers with the next book? Do you want to accumulate 1,000,000 pages read? Whatever it is. Try to think outside of money. I know that the price of everything is going up. I totally got that. I know it's going to be harder. I know that you got to pay for stuff. And this is a passion, and passion doesn't pay the bills. I get that. But passion does provide lifestyles if you can capitalize on it. If you can think in the right direction, your passion will pay off for you eventually. But you can't go in with desperation and thinking, okay, this has got to make me $5,000. You're going to come up short. If you say, okay, this is going to make me 15 readers in a month, I want 15 different readers a month, then you'll start to make progress. Okay, so start thinking about the goals that you have for your book and for your overall career. Do you want to do 5 interviews? Do you want to sell in 16 different countries? Do you want to do 5 different events in different states? Like, whatever it is that would equal success for you outside of money, start thinking about what you want to accomplish, your books, okay? And then start thinking about how to plan events. Now, this is where your getting out and talking is going to cash in for you, because the more people that you know, the more opportunities you're going to have to do different things with your writing career. I recommend that you join some Facebook groups. Let's say you're a little bit new to the writing world. Start jumping into some groups where there's a lot of authors. I'm in several. One that's really helpful is Authors and Writers Helping Each Other. That's the name of the Facebook group. You can get on there, start asking questions. How did you get an agent? How did you do a publisher? Should you get an agent and a publisher? Sometimes they give you a lot of information because there's, thousands of authors in there in different steps in their writing journey, but you can get some resources there. Do you know any blogs that are looking for people? Things like that. It's a really good resource for you to have. It's a really good resource for you to have. And I'm going to just take a quick break here. Just give me 1 second. We're going to share a different screen, and I will be right. All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for giving me that break. Go ahead and hit the like. Go ahead and share this if you are on an author's network. If you've got writers friends, I would really appreciate it. All right. So we're talking about planning events, talking about thinking about your goals for your writing career, things of that nature. Just start thinking forward. Okay, start thinking ahead. All right, does that make sense? Okay, good. Now, let's say that you are socially awkward. Let's say you're not used to talking to people. Let's say you want a little bit of assistance on really how to be a personable person. So I'm going to give you a couple of steps here to, getting some interest in your writing. So, what should you say to people? First off, just tell them what you're doing and why. Why do you want to be an author? And this is really a good question for you to know for yourself. If you don't know why you want to write, you're probably not writing for the right reason. So you should really know exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish here. Okay, why do you want to write specifically? There's a whole lot of ways to get your message out. Why did you choose writing? And talk to people. Tell them what you're doing and why. Okay? Ask if anyone is a reader of the genre that you're writing. This is like within your circle now. Like ask them if anybody reads, paranormal romance. Don't be embarrassed to tell people what you do. If anybody laughs at you, those are people you don't need to talk to the book about. And remember those people because they're going to be the first ones coming back once you're successful. Like, hey, I was here the whole time. You can be like, no, you weren't. You you are a hater. You just want to jump on my coattails to success. Talk about you have a friend. Keep your eye out for those people. Those are some little weasels. They're going to try and claim they were there to support you the whole time just to get you to bring them up with you. Don't you let those people on your lines. Ask them if they're readers, if they read your genre. Right? Now, if they're not readers, don't go into too many details about the book. Remember, marathon and finish line, okay? Marathon and finish line. They might be good friends, but they don't read that much. Just be like, okay, maybe you can share it when I publish. They'd be happy to have a role in helping you reach your success. I have a lot of people like that. Okay? Now the people who are readers, the people who are interested in, like, yeah, what do you do? You want to ask those people what they'd like to see from you, or what they actually see from their favorite authors that they like a lot. In terms of merch, in terms of contact, in terms of should you like what kind of covers do they like to see? What makes a book real for them? What makes a book entertaining for them? Ask them this information, and you're going to want to take notes about this because this is going to be pivotal information that you need to know in order to get more readers. Because the people who are going to read your book are going to have some similarities to the people who are already in your circle and already read. Now, if you don't have any readers in your circle, this is where these Facebook groups come in handy. There's got to be tens of thousands of these groups on Facebook. Some of them are not so great. Some of them are fantastic. So, you kind of got to A, join the group, and B, be active in the group. Again, you got to get out and talk to people. This is not introvert city right here. This is extrovert city. You got to be personable. It's the nature of the beast here. Okay? So you need this information. For those who are readers, ask them what they'd like to see. And if what they like kind of jives with your genre or your goals here, ask them if you can add them to your email list. You might have to, you might even want to give them a free copy for joining your readers list. This is a tiny price to pay for that reader. Again, an author is as successful as they have readers. As long as people are reading your book, you're going to be successful. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen eventually. You just have to understand your target audience. This is where you start. What kind of stuff do you like to see from paranormal romance? What makes you like what your favorite author? what like set them apart? What made them your favorite author? Oh man, like those characters are just so real. Like, and she says sometimes she sends out little emails like talking to me in the character's voice. This is important for you to know because once they tell you what they want, you can provide those things and make more money because people are going to be more interested in reading and absorbing your content. Okay? Again, an author, I've said this multiple times because it's very important. An author is as successful as they have readers, not sales. Do not try and capitalize on sales when you're building your career. If you are new or if you have one book out that's not doing well, you need readers first, not sales. Okay. Now, there is a program out there that allows you to be paid on pages read with the most popular sales platform in the world. This is a win win. I feel this is a win win for books and for this platform, or for authors and for this platform. It's called Kindle Select. Now, this allows authors to put their books on Kindle Unlimited. And really, Amazon and the Kindle market, they have a stranglehold on the self-publishing industry. It's pretty much a monopoly at this point. They're kind of the powerhouse. You know, there's a big five in the book publishing industry. There's a big one in the self-publishing industry. It's Amazon. um, but you can sign up for Kindle Select, and for a limited time, you can get on Kindle Unlimited. Now, this is the most popular platform for readers of genre fiction. What Kindle Unlimited is it's a monthly subscription that Kindle readers sign up for, and they can read any book that they want that is in this program. It's kind of like an all you can read for readers, all right? The issue is with authors, and the reason why some people turn away from it is because you have to publish on Amazon exclusively. This means you can't sell it on your website. Like, you have to redirect everybody to Amazon. Okay. It's a 90-day commitment. So it's not like it's the life of your book. And then you get to re-sign up for it. Okay. Now, this is subject to change. So if you read this a little bit later, this information might be different. So make sure that when you're publishing, you look up the Kindle Select program to see if it has changed. But there's so many cons, or there's so many pros and cons. There's a couple of cons to this program. Okay, we're gonna go over a couple of them here. I think this is a slam dunk. It's a slam dunk. You don't have to depend on people reading and or people buying your book. Some people say they're gonna buy, and then they'll post a review, and they haven't bought or read. It happens. You know, they want to support you. They're the finish line people. Um, and with Kindle Unlimited, like, they pay $10 a month, I think it is. It's like $10, $12 a month. And there's no reason why they can't read your book now because they can do it for free as long as they're a part of this program. I think it's a slam dunk. I make sure that my book is on Kindle Unlimited as long as possible. Now, especially if this is your first book, again, readers are what you want here. And what I would recommend is when you're formatting, when you're getting your book ready to be put on Kindle, have your website at the end, because the readers that like it will go to your website and they can sign up for your readers list. So now you can contact them exclusively and sell them other things. Or once the 90-day commitment is over, let's say you enroll for 6 months in the Kindle Select. Actually, let's talk about the pros first, okay, because it really won't make sense until you see the pros. All right. So I know that a lot of people will tell you do not do Kindle Select. Let's talk about the pros and cons here, okay? So here are a couple of the pros. Amazon will send out your book to readers if you're in the Kindle Select program based on their reading history. So there's a little bit of free marketing and promotion involved in this for signing up. They want the exclusivity. I don't know why I have an issue with that word. They want the exclusivity, meaning you only put it on Amazon. All the buttons and everything go back to Amazon. But if you do that, they give you a lot of things, okay? It's a better chance of your book ranking well because of Kindle Unlimited's popularity in genre fiction. They offer Kindle countdown deals. They offer Kindle free promotions. These are like the ads that you see if you're on Amazon. some books based on your reading history is what I get in email. You have increased royalties in some of the countries. So let's just say you enroll for 6 months. You've got your website set up. There's a readers list pop up that offers them a chance to join the readers list. Normally it's in exchange for something. And in that 6 months, you build 50 readers, 25 readers. Then you want to sell a bookmark for your fans, with their favorite characters on them. You can sell those bookmarks for like $20, $25. And instead of, just getting a $5 sale and that's it, now they've read your book for free. Maybe they've reviewed it and you've upsold them a bookmark for your next book. You've asked them if they want to be a part of the exclusive group for your next book, and you're building that relationship with them. And then with your next book, you don't want to do Kindle Select, and you send your book out to those readers, or you tell them that your book is published to those readers for $5, and now you're making more money on the back end. Let's say half of those 50 buy your book. And that would not have happened if you hadn't enrolled in Kindle Select. That's one example. Now, there's a couple of other examples where they'll show that you can make more money off of Kindle Select. But I think if you're new or you're self-published, at least initially, sign up for Kindle Select. They pay you on pages read. That's another pro. And I think it's like 70% of the royalties. And it's in different markets. It's a different number. But they pay you on pages read instead of your sales, because on Kindle Unlimited, they're not buying the book. They're just, in essence, renting it. They're borrowing it and reading it. So you're paid on pages read. And you have to publish exclusively on Amazon, but you're able to collect the people in the most popular sales platform for indie and self-published authors. Really traditional published too, because they post on Amazon as well. Like, they publish on Amazon as well. It's the most popular platform for anybody buying stuff in the world, not just in the US, in the world. And this is where you can start getting your target audience together in a readers list. This is why you need that website early, because you put the website in the format at the very back of the book or the very beginning of the book, maybe both. And the people who enjoyed the book the most go to your website and sign on for your mailing list. And that's just one example of how that can work. Now, there are some cons to Kindle Select. We talked about this already. Amazon wants the exclusive rights to this book. Sorry about that. So you can't publish it or you can't post it anywhere else. No Barnes & Noble, no Smashwords, no Ingram Spark, no anywhere, not your website. Like, if you put the book on your website, it has to have a button that redirects them to Amazon. So, like, that's the main con. There's a point where it lowers your chance of making the bestsellers list outside of Amazon. Honestly, I wouldn't worry too much about that, because you can still make the like USA Today. You have to sell a lot of books in a week. It's like 5,000 books in a week. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. Again, remember, you're trying to get readers, not sales. Readers. You want people reading and reviewing your book. So that's really the big con for Kindle Select, or the big two cons. Now, I want to wrap up here because we're at about an hour. This is good. This was good timing. I want to wrap up here because we're at about an hour. Finding your target audience is not a hard thing to do. It is a tedious thing to do. You're going to invest a lot of time and effort. You might make a couple of mistakes, but if you do the right thing, instead of focusing on sales and spamming your book or asking people who's going to buy it when I publish, you focus on the readers and what makes them interested and why they read books and what books they would like to read more. And you collect up those readers and ask them, hey, what more do you want to see from me? And you do those things, you're going to have a lot more readers. You will have a target audience. Now, once you get those people together, you start asking them questions. And these similarities that you see in, like, you want to get to know your readers, right? Like, in the beginning, you're not going to have a lot. It's not a lot to reach out and talk to those people, which is why talking to people is important. You see how these things are all starting to tie together? Like, you want to learn how to talk to people and be social, because you're going to need to talk to people in the beginning to get your readers list. You ask them what they want in a personable way. They tell you, yeah, we like bookmarks. We like your emails, your newsletters. And if they all say certain things, you can use that information, those similarities, to create Facebook ads and target people that are like your readers. That gets you more readers. That's a little bit more of an advanced promotion tactic. But, today we want to talk about in the beginning. You want to start developing those skills. Make sure you keep marathon people here and finish line people at the end. People who are excited about reading your stuff now, those are marathon people. People who are not really readers, but they're excited about you, those are finish line people. People who say, yeah, you shouldn't do that, those are get off the lines people. Don't talk to them about your book, right? And keep doing these things and developing these skills. Get that website really good quality. You're going to have to pay for it if you don't have website design acumen or the skill for it. You're going to pay for it. Don't just pay $50 for it, guys. You get what you pay for. Find a really good website designer. And it doesn't have to be a huge 5-page website. 1 page at the beginning. Cover background about the author. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy. And obviously a pop-up to join the mailing list. Okay, but it does have to be quality. And then start talking to people. Join some groups. Ask some questions. Be personable. And that will help you build up that target audience. I recommend you sign up for Kindle Select. Kindle Unlimited is a very, very popular platform for people who like to read. And just start building that audience little by little by little. And it might cost you a little bit to invest in these things. But if you do it right and you have the right mentality, not sales, readers, and you just start saying, I want to get 5 readers, I want to get 6 readers, I want to get 10 readers, and you start hitting those goals, eventually you will have 100, 1,000, 500 readers, and you'll be able to make more money in the future if you invest in the readers now. Okay? So hopefully this helped you out, you guys. I appreciate you joining me here. I'm going to go ahead and check the chat here for any questions. Okay, so with the Kindle Select Con exclusivity, when the time is up, can you send the book to Barnes & Noble? Yes. Once they don't have the exclusivity rights anymore, you can send it anywhere you want to. I recommend with first books you keep it up there for as long as possible, because remember, the goal is to grab people out of this target audience, because they're going to send it out to everybody. Anybody who reads or signed up for this program, they're just going to send it out. So it's up to you as the author to grab them and get them collected into your mailing list, your target audience, your specific target audience for your book and your stuff. But yes, once the time is up on Kindle Select, you can send it out. Good question. Any other questions? Alrighty. Doesn't look like it. I'll stick on here for a little bit and answer some questions here. But other than that, guys, thank you for joining us today. Again, my name is Jonathan. This is the Right Way Podcast. And I will see you next time. I'll hang out in the chat box to answer some questions for you. And just go ahead and click the subscribe if you're on YouTube. Go ahead and like us wherever you see us. It's iFlow Creative on Facebook, The Right Way. On Right is spelled like you're writing a book, WRITE, not RIGHT. We have a TikTok at Right Way Podcast. YouTube is at Right Way Podcast. And feel free to send tips if you like this information. It really does help us with researching and creating this information for you. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in the chat box. We will see you next time.
with what they do. Is it ain't easy when you live the life where they depend on you? I know the feeling. Let me take care of you. This is another place that I find where you never need to unwind. Dealing with the pressure, and I know you feel it too. Where they always make it easy. I can just relax and be there. Baby, are you ready? It's time for me and you. Let's get on to another world. Just you and me. Oh, let's get on.
Take a trip with me, tell me where you wanna go. Just point on the globe and then let me know. I can take you anywhere in the whole wide world. On the Eiffel Towers while love occurs. Is it Belize, Greece, or maybe the islands? Take a deep, long breath and just close your eyelids. Relax and take a seat and just let your mind slip to a place you wanna go. All love, no violence. France, Egypt, maybe Japan. No matter where we go, I wanna hold your hand. We can hit the beach and put our toes in the sand. Maybe go to San Fran and hear an indie band. Where you going, little mama? I wanna take you on a trip. I can be your only genie. You can use one wish. Then we try all the places that you wanted to exist and go around the world on a plane or a ship. And trust me, I know it's like a dream come true, but it's nothing compared to what I would do for you. Just one night, just to show you the world and give you my all, cause I found my dream girl. Adventure is a word that was made for two, and the way I see it, it's just me and you. Cause when we're together,